In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that in Kali Yuga, God takes the forms of saints and everyone should resort to them for their spiritual progress. Sri Dattatreya Swami assured that he will be present in the form of Avadutas in the Kali Yuga. Sri Venkaya Swami is one such Avaduta in Sri Datta lineage. Bhagwan Sri Venkaya Swami was born in a village called Nagalvelturu in Nellore district, Andhra Pradesh, India, to a pious couple, Sompalli Pichamma and Penchalaya. His divine leelas from his childhood confirm that he is a perfect manifestation of the universal spirit in human form to save the poor and the ignorant people. As said by Adi Sankaracharya, it is very difficult to recognize Avadutas. There are quite a number of similarities between Swami and Sai. Both speak in cryptic language among themselves. They both used strange ways to cure their devotees' ailments and their teachings were alike. Once, Sri Swami told that he has an elder brother in North who worships sacred fire like him. None else than Sri Sai performs it. They not only predicted the date of Mahasamadhi, since then they have been protecting the devotees in the same way as they did before. Said that he was not born to Pichamma and Penchalaya like all other human beings. In other words, his birth on this earth bears the divine purpose. The following statements of Swami confirm this. At his 80s, his legs were paralyzed and could not walk. Devotees begged him to take medicines. He refused by saying, "It's so, I have to take another birth to experience that karma." Once, he also said, "There is no bar to my sight even beyond seas. As such, what is the need of spiritual teacher for me?" From his childhood, he was endowed with occult powers, but the ignorant people did not recognize them. Once his nephew was suffering from a dangerous fever, his sister Mangamma lost hope of the child and was crying. Merciful Swami waved his hand over the face of the child and said that she need not worry about the child. At once, the child recovered without any medicine. At this time, Swami was 16 years old. Once, Swami came to his sister at Rajapadmapuram to take her to his native place, but she was worried that this mad boy may leave her on the way. At once, omniscient Swami replied to her unuttered thoughts. "What, sister? I am not a mad boy to leave you in the middle of the way." All these show that he was bestowed with great powers even from his childhood. From his childhood, he was well known for his righteous conduct. He was an uncrowned king for the settlement of all the quarrels of his playmates. During summer, when he saw the cattle eating waste papers, his heart melted. He readily offered grass, carrying on his head to them and returned home empty-handed. This type of merciful conduct made the people call him Mad Venkaya. At the age of 20, he suffered from high temperature for a few days. After some days, he started behaving like a hallucinated person or a lunatic. He used to run in the streets day and night shouting Chakala Yogam, Washerman or Doba Yogam, Mangala Yogam, Barbar Yogam, and Jakala Yogam. Dabduk Dabduk. In those days, people used to adhere to caste system very strictly. He used to eat from the plates of Dobi, Barbar, and Harijans. So he was excommunicated. As there was no allopathic hospital nearby, his parents tried all sorts of buck treatments and tantric treatments, but in vain vexed with all these treatments. His parents left him free after some time. He used to wander in the lonely places around the village. He used to run away at the sight of young girls just like a boy runs away from a tiger. Days together, he would not return home. His mother used to send coolies with food packets. He would simply follow them and come home. Once he left the village and did not appear for a number of years, parents searched and lost hope of their son. After some years, he again appeared in the neighboring villages, but by this time he was called Venkaya Swami instead of a Mad Venkaya. At this time, he cured incurable diseases not only of men but also of cattle. He warned people from future calamities and graced them to avoid the same. He used to utter some cryptic messages about devotees who come for his darshan. He used to get such talks written on a paper touch the paper as a mark of his grace and give it to the devotees. He also used to put his thumb impression on paper and give it to the devotees as a mark of his grace. He also used to keep fire with him. A bit of old rope was lighted and kept burning in his hand wherever he went. He always appeared with a bundle of rope bits on his head, a munta, a small earthen pot, and a danda in his hand. Many years he wandered on the banks of River Penna near Rajapalam and in Somasala forest. He used to get his food at a single house. Soon after his meal, he used to leave the house without any delay. He always drank water with the help of palms. He never used any vessel or a tumbler for drinking purpose. In those days, cholera and smallpox washed away many villages. In such a helpless state, his thread, incense, and his food protected them from the calamity. In the beginning, he used to stay in a hut on a hillock called Ankalamabuttu near Rajapalam. He kept an oil lamp burning and played on his yektara, a stringed musical instrument, all throughout the night. Next, he shifted his stay to the Shivalayam Koti Tirtham. There he used to sing the Maha Mantra Om Narayana Adi Narayana and on two ektaras with both hands throughout the night. If sleep overpowers him, he would puncture his tooth gum with a thorn and wash the blood in his mouth with water. And he used to be deeply absorbed in mantra japa. He would not even be aware of the breaking of the strings of his yaktara. For a number of years, he was busily engaged day and night in erecting a sand dam across the river Pennar near Somasila. He asked the devotees also to help in the dam work as it was God's work. Daily, someone or the other used to arrange food for all the devotees along with the Swami. In those days, his feet and hands were bruised terribly as he was continuously working in water and wet sand. He made a canal and made water flow in the opposite direction of the river flow, which was impossible for human beings. With the help of dry twigs, he would light fire on the waters where the canal joins the river. He would pour water on the either side of the fire. He used to say that all this was to save people from cholera, smallpox, and such other terrible diseases. He also said that the worth of 1 tula, weight of 1 rupee during British rule of water, was 3 crores. By that day's work, 10 crores of income was at balance after spending the day's expenditure of the entire world. After some years, he used to travel from village to village on his mission of saving the poor and downtrodden. He never stayed in anybody's house. He was always resorted to deserted temples, village chabdi, shady trees, and deserted houses only. Here in this video, the temple shown was one of his own way of staying near the Pennar river in the village called Brahmanapalli. He took his meal in a very rare and peculiar fashion. A basin of food was to be emptied by inverting the basin in a big leaf plate. He would throw the rice on the ground around the leaf plate with his fingers. He would be served for the second time. With his right palm, he would first touch his head and then the food and give the food to the householder as prasad. A third basin would be served from which he would eat a very small portion from the middle of the heap and threw the rest around the leaf plate. He never cared for taste. Chutney with dried chilies was his favorite dish. When he was wandering, he used to take his bath in wells and rivers. Many stinking wells and ponds were purified when Swami took a dip in them. When Swami poured a little water in the dried up wells, they were filled with water forever. In the old age, he took his bath in abnormally hot water. Swami took his bath in the Koneru near the Samadhi Mandir at Golgamudi. So, this water is very sacred as it is sanctified by the touch of his holy body. The work of the well at Samadhi Mandir was inaugurated by Swami by digging and removing a few baskets of earth with his own hands. At that time, this was the only one well for the whole village and the pilgrims, and it never failed to supply water even at times of the greatest drought. During his wanderings, once he stayed at Golgamudi continuously for 8 years. The sacred dhuni or fire was burnt day and night. The fire would in the whole forest around Golgamudi was exhausted. For some time he continued both Duni and thumb impressions. For this, devotees offered bags of newspapers, white papers, and ink tablets. He warned devotees to preserve the thumb impressions as they would be worth lakhs in the future. Today, every word of Swami came true. His impressions as they would be worth of lakhs in the future. Today, every word of Swami came true. His messages regarding the future tendencies of the world as well as devotees were written on paper. For example, he wrote, "We will eat food prepared without the touch of a ladle." Today, it has come to happen as we cook in pressure cookers. Once, showing the ashram premises, he said that there were large heaps of fuming food for the last 14 gathas. In this context, fuming heaps of food may be taken to donate his ever fresh penance. This place is sanctified and enriched by the penance of a large number of saints from hundreds of years. As a result of this power, hopeless cases of diseases are also cured as soon as they begin to stay in this holy place. All the backward areas where Swami received his food are very highly developed today with irrigation facilities. Sri Swami used to give thread to some people and assured that whoever is retaining the thread given by him and ensured that the thread is not cut off, then he is with them always. Even today, also at his Samadhi Mandir, thread is given to the devotees who are visiting him. Today, Somsula Dam is constructed where Swami used to construct his sand dam. This dam is flowing up to Golgamudi Samadhi Mandir, a place nearly 100 kilometers away from Somsila. Nobody can say how many times he made it rain during drought seasons. He took the pains and sufferings of leprosy patients on his body and gave them relief. Many people got rid of the vice of drinking by his grace. Words are less to explain the incidents which devotees experienced with Swami. One has to visit his Samadhi at Golgamudi at Nellore district, Andhra Pradesh, even today to experience the infinite power of Bhagwan Venkaya Swami. The Swami had many slogans, which follows: I will be responding as per one's faith. I will pick up my lamb even though it is in a herd of 1,000. Equal love for all will enable you to realize God. It is nothing great if a monk stings onto Dharma. It is great if a householder stings onto Dharma. You must achieve nobility, simplicity, and service to Sadguru. If we crave for a share in the profit, we should also share the sin. If greed is lost, everything is lost. If you are careful that the thread is not cut off, I will be ever with you. To conclude the end, I would like to sing the Maha Mantra, which was followed by Sri Bhagwan Venkaya Swami. Om Narayana Adi Narayana. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.